Hello everyone. Today I am going to talk about how to write word equations. What is a word equation? A word equation describes a chemical reaction using words. There are two important points that you should pay attention to when writing word equations. First, masses are conserved in all chemical reactions. In other words, all elements are conserved, they cannot be created nor destroyed. Second, atoms of elements may be rearranged or in different states because of the chemical reactions. So they may have different names after the chemical reaction. In word equations, we usually see there are words on the left, followed by an arrow. Then there are words on the right. What are their meanings? On the left, the words refer to the reactants in the reaction. On the right, the words refer to the products formed in the chemical reaction. Take this as an example. The reactants are sodium and oxygen. Do you think it is possible to give sodium chloride as the product? The answer is no. As mentioned above, masses in elements are conserved, they cannot be created nor destroyed. Therefore, atoms of elements appearing on the left must also appear on the right. Atoms of elements not appearing on the left must not appear on the right. We see that there are oxygen atoms on the left, so there should be oxygen atoms on the right. No products of chloride are formed. You may wonder if it is acceptable to write sodium-oxygen as the products, which agree with the law of conservation. The answer is no. For usual chemical reactions, the reactants and products should be different if a reaction really takes place. Atoms may be rearranged, or the states of reactants may be changed after the reaction to give products. So the names of reactants and products are different. Take this as an example. When sodium reacts with oxygen, a product called sodium oxide is formed. The word oxide indicates that it is different from the reactant oxygen. So the words on the right should be sodium oxide instead of sodium oxygen. After mentioning the important points that you should remember in writing word equations, we are going to learn to write word equations, and at the same time have a review on the common chemical reactions involving metals. The first one is the reaction between metals and oxygen. The product formed in this reaction is metal oxide. In other words, metals react with oxygen to give metal oxide as the product. This is the general equation. Let's take a look at some examples. The first example is calcium plus oxygen. From the general equation, we know that oxygen will be converted to oxide. Calcium is a metal, and it is no need to change the name of metals, so we have calcium oxide as the product. If you want to know why this product is named in this way, you may refer to the corresponding videos. The second example is to find out the reactants from the given product, potassium oxide. First, we have to think about the general equation, from which we will be able to find out the reactants. We see that there is oxide in the product, then we know oxygen is one of the reactants. The metal in the product is the same with the reactant, which is potassium. As a result, we can get the equation potassium plus oxygen to give potassium oxide. The second type of chemical reaction involving metals is the one between metals and water, and the products are metal hydroxide and hydrogen. Let's try this example, sodium plus water. From the general equation, we will get sodium plus water gives sodium hydroxide plus hydrogen. Note that the product, hydrogen, is a gas. Let's do one more drilling exercise. Find the reactants from a given product, lithium hydroxide. From what we have just learnt, the reactants that can give metal hydroxide are metal and water, and the metal in this case is lithium. So we can get lithium plus water give lithium hydroxide, but this equation is not complete. From the general equation, hydrogen is also one of the products, so remember to write hydrogen on the right. The third type of chemical reaction involving metals is the one between metals and acids. The word equations of this type of reactions will be a bit more complicated. Here is the general equation. Metal reacts with acid to give a salt and hydrogen gas. I guess you have no ideas about what the salt is, but no worries, I am going to explain with an example. The example is sodium plus hydrochloric acid. From the general equation, the product must include hydrogen gas. So what atoms of elements are left in the reaction? If we take a look at the hydrochloric acid, its chemical formula is HCl. The H moiety in HCl is converted to hydrogen gas, and the Cl moiety in HCl is converted to chloride, an ion in the ionic salt. Or in short, chloric is converted to chloride in the salt when metals react with hydrochloric acid. Therefore, the salt is sodium chloride. Let's have one more example, magnesium plus sulfuric acid. The method is similar to the above example. The chemical formula of sulfuric acid is H2SO4. This time the SO4 moiety in H2SO4 is converted to sulfate, an ion in the ionic salt. In other words, sulfuric is converted to sulfate in the salt when metals react with sulfuric acid. Remember to write hydrogen on the right according to the general equation. Alright, we have finished the discussions on common chemical reactions involving metals. The first one is metal reacts with oxygen to give metal oxide. The second one is metal reacts with water to give metal hydroxide and hydrogen gas. The last one is metal reacts with acid to give a salt and hydrogen gas. Also, we have finished the discussions on writing word equations of common reactions of metals. If you want to learn the chemical naming of ionic compounds, you may refer to the corresponding videos. Or if you want to learn to write chemical equations with chemical symbols, you may also watch the corresponding videos.